Hello everyone. Thanks for joining in on this installment of your true crime, where you share your close brushes with real crime. Hello everyone. Thanks for joining in on this installment of your true crime, where you share your close brushes with real crime.
I guess if it doesn't read it right, it's hard to do it, time it with it. Like last night's was perfect though, right? Yeah. How's it going, everybody? Yeah, tonight's another installment of the True Crime Live. Or you call in and you tell your story where you had a brush with true crime, you know, like a real event. Okay? So you have to call in and tell your stories. If not, this will be a really short show. Because that's what we're doing on Sundays now. And by the way, see the girl that was just on there? So look at that. She bought a mug a while back. But look at this. She makes her own barbecue sauce. Hold on a second. Let me switch screens here. She makes her own barbecue sauce. CJ Carter is her name. And look at that. I mean, my mugs help out in all kinds of ways. Look at that. You got the We Are Freaks mug. And it's holding up a, I don't know, some sort of a vat here. And she welded all this together. And it's got a little pipe. And she makes her own barbecue sauce. And it drips into here. But without that mug, by golly, she wouldn't have been able to make it. Yes. And here's another angle of it right there. Okay. There it is. Now you tell me that isn't a useful mug, all right? I mean, my mugs are like MacGyver, right? They can do anything. They're like the pocket knife of mugs, the Swiss Army knife. Unbelievable, right? So there you go. You got it holding up there. Okay. And by the way, if you're I don't know if you're still watching Minivan or Minibus, whatever the hell you want to call him, but he's just such a hypocrite, everybody. He's out there telling everybody, wow, you know, there's other channels that they defame people and do this and that and the other thing. But that's what you do all the time. And he's telling people now that he's got all this information he's reading off this press conference. We've been telling you guys for 2 years. All right? 2 years. There's nothing that he's telling you is new, other than he thinks there's this van again with that at the barbecue with that guy. It's the same van that's parked over at the. It's just insane. All right, everybody. So don't believe that shit at all. Just go with the facts in the case. All right, that's all I ask. One of the biggest hypocrites I've ever seen. Honest to God, it's actually embarrassing. What a hypocrite this guy is. Yeah. In fact, I'm going to read what he wrote. It's total bullshit. So hold on a second. And well, I'm just doing this while we're waiting for callers. All right. Yeah. See, he said. Listen to what a hypocrite this guy is. Listen to what he wrote here. It's really embarrassing how it's just. Don't you realize that you sound like an absolute lunatic hypocrite here? Call me wacky, but I delete comments referencing other channels of people who have threatened to kill me. Well, you've threatened to kill other people. You've had dreams of how you would kill people. Okay? And threaten me with violence or engage in their... I haven't seen anybody threaten you with violence, but you've threatened other people. And then he said, or engage in their usual slander and defamation. Right. That's all you do on your channel. I talk about your content, okay? All right, so that's fair game. You originally, when you first started covering the case, you did not care at all about the facts in the case. And when anybody tried to correct you, you called them trolls and you kicked them out of your channel. Now you're saying all the things that we tried to correct you with a long time ago, and you're claiming you've divined that on your own. It's ridiculous, okay? So just grow up, man. It's embarrassing. All right, so who's got the true crime live stories? You know, and the funny thing is I don't even have the guy blocked. But he blocks everybody who says anything because he knows he's wrong and he doesn't want to be challenged on it. He wants to sell the narrative to all the suckers that he has watching his channel. Okay? It's weird. It's a strange thing. I don't know what's going on over there, but every single day keeps whining and whining about, oh, it's him against the world. It's really weird. Yeah, so anyways, the number that's on the screen actually works. So if you want to call that and talk about your true crime stories, if you call in, though, make sure you have the, the places, if you can. Like you can tell the city name or the town, so we can kind of look at it as we're going over the story. If not, I'm just going to stare blankly at the screen for hours. Like this. Which would be okay because I was told to do that. You know, I was told to look more at the audience by looking right into the camera. All right. I guess that's what we're supposed to do. As YouTubers, we have to be like this. Yeah, so what I was thinking about was this case, and it was really weird. Well, how do I look at the screen? You know, I got to be able to look at what I'm doing. All right. Now, see when you see me looking like this, that's me reading the chat. Okay. If I'm looking over here, sometimes more at the camera, that's where I usually have my Google Earth. If I look way over to the right, that might be where Zoom callers call it. All right. All right. Yeah, there's only 108 people watching. Apparently, the hour notification didn't help at all. I did hear from somebody regarding the case from last night. I'm hoping to maybe get the mother on. That'd be pretty great. Yeah, the Lisa Thompson. Or excuse me, Thomas. Lisa Thomas. They were saying that the mother thinks it's these two guys that used to hang out in the woods behind the house. Where she was found, and that her daughter had confronted them about hanging out there, and then just weeks later she was killed. Something like that. So we'll have to look into that a little bit. Yeah, I posted it an hour ago. That's why there was a few people in there. Thanks, Kit Kat. You guys should just run out and post the link to this video in different groups and see if we can get people to call in. Yeah. And, if you want, you can just call in and talk about anything then. I mean, if people aren't going to call in and tell their true crime, the show is about that, but maybe we'll open it up this time, or just in general, that you can call in and talk about whatever the hell you want to talk about. Related to crime, okay? I don't want you to call up and say, well, my big toe's been hurting a lot, and I've been standing on these rocks, and I'm wondering if my big toe hurts because I've been standing on the rocks, maybe putting a little too much pressure on the ball of the foot. I'm not a doctor. Yeah. Yeah, like that girl right there on the screen, she's the one. Not this one, but the one before in the CJ. Oh, wait, got a call in. All right, here we go. 815, you're on the air.
Hello, Greg. This is Lori Law.
Lori Law?
I'm a little, yes, sir. I'm a little nervous to be calling and putting this out in the public, but I wanted to bring up my niece, Ashley Conrad, on April 9th. Let me get a backstory a little bit.
Well, where? Just tell where, where's the location and all that. Let's do that.
Okay. I'm calling about, she lived in Morris, Illinois, the 800 block Twilight Drive in Morris, Illinois.
Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, just a second. 800 block of what?
Twilight Drive in Morris, Illinois.
All right, there we go.
Okay. She was 33 years old, and a backstory, forgive me. She was really close with the family, very close. She lived with me off and on all throughout her life. And for a few months, I didn't have any contact with her. And I asked her mother, hey, have you talked to your daughter? And, we kept trying to contact her. Okay, so what happened? The Morris police called me to let me know that she was in ICU and that we needed to go pick up her kids. She had a 14-year-old son and a 6-year-old daughter. So I went immediately, to get the kids from school. And then we went over to the hospital. And backstory, DCFS was waiting there, to take the kids. And, we're like, that's not going to happen. But she had met this man. His name is Daniel Hunt, and we can't contact him right now. That the police can't find him. But what happened was this guy injected her with pure fentanyl and synthetic fentanyl and killed her immediately. Oh, and he dropped her off at the hospital dead. Okay. And I worked orthopedics, neurological a lot of my life. And so when I got to the hospital, I knew immediately that, she wasn't going to come, that there was no saving her. And 5 days later, they took her organs. They took her, because she was an organ donor, liver, kidneys, lungs, blah, 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 blah. Okay. And the inspector, went to this gentleman's house, searched the house. He
was it an apartment?
Obviously. Yes, sir.
Okay. I think I see the apartments right here. It's like there's two buildings perpendicular to Twilight and then two parallel with Twilight in the back. Okay. All right. Yeah.
He lived with her for a while, and I always told her, get rid of this guy, because she told me that he was a drug user. And I'm like, you got this guy around your kids, get rid of him. And so he moved across the street in the apartment complex. Okay. And the inspector said he searched the apartment, searched the dumpsters, and he had cleaned out the apartment. His second investigation with the gentleman, he told him that when he drove my niece Ashley to the hospital, that he threw the needle away because all of our family knew dang well that Ashley would never inject herself with drugs. So
what was her last name?
Conrad. Ashley Conrad.
Okay.
Conrad.
Right. And
April.
Okay, go ahead.
Pardon me?
No, go ahead. Just tell your story.
I'm sorry. April 9th was the day he dropped her off at the hospital dead. April 14th, they took her organs, so they marked it as April 14th as her death because she was, dead, brain dead, and they don't want to consider her brain dead. They want to take the organs and the heart before they consider her dead. Okay.
Yeah.
There was a woman at the hospital. I could tell as soon as I walked up because of my medical experience that this woman, I didn't even, before we even got to the ICU, I was like, oh my gosh, to my sister, Kimberly, that's a drug user, the way she was jumping around. And she tried to tell me, oh, I'm Ashley's best friend. I'm like, I've never heard of you. Get away from me. And we told the nurses not to allow this woman back up. And the inspector believes that this woman's involved too.
That she's a what?
He threw the needle. Pardon me?
What did you say this woman was what?
Her name was Katie. I don't know her last name.
No, you said that you said the woman was something too. I didn't understand what you said.
She was, the way she was jerking around, I could tell she was a drug user.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, but she said that she was Ashley's best friend, and I said, I've never heard of you, because like I said, my niece was, we were a very tight family, so I was like, I've never heard of you, just get the frick away from me. The inspector believes that she was also involved because Daniel was living with her at the time. Daniel threw the needle away, the inspector said on his second investigation. And I said, well, there's fingerprints on there. Did you look for the needle? It had rained the night before, the night afterwards. He said, no, it's compromised. Was there a needle stuck in her arm when they found her? That's what he said, that the needle was in his arm when he threw her in the car and drove her to the hospital. What he did was drove her to the hospital, honked the horn. They came and got her, and he just drove off. Now,
well, what do you think though? But I mean, he might be responsible for the drugs, but it sounds like he did drive her there. Do you think he already knew that she wasn't going to live, or do you think that part was he didn't intend to kill her, but it was just sort of like, I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out why he'd take her to the hospital. No, I understand. Yeah. The coroner said it killed her immediately. No, so he knew that he left her. Yeah. Pardon me? It's like, so he knew that she wasn't going to live, and then he took her there to make it look like he gave a shit or something, right? Right. The inspector said that it's a Good Samaritan law that because he dropped her off, even though she was dead, it's some kind of Good Samaritan law. And because that man was an addict, he's also protected. I was like, this is BS. All these laws need to be changed. My thing is, the reason I'm trying to bring it to light is I believe that a lot of these laws need to be changed. And I believe that Inspector Burke and all of them are just, chalking this up as a drug overdose case. Mm-hmm. And my niece, that wasn't my niece. We all know that. Well, how old was she? How old was she? She was 33 years old. Was she doing drugs before that too? No, sir. No. That's why. This is. I always watch a show at work at night. I apologize that I haven't been able to
support you financially.
Well, you don't have to apologize.
I have a little bit.
Don't worry about it.
I've just been so overwhelmed this past 6 months.
Yeah. I mean, I only want people to support my channel if they can afford to and they want to.
Yeah.
Don't feel obligated to do that. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I watch your show every night, even though I may not.
Yeah, I mean, you're supporting the channel by watching and hitting the like button, that kind of thing. It's awesome. So.
Right.
So you've got. So Ashley, so she was 33. Was it in the paper or anything?
Her death was only, like I said, when they took her organs, they didn't, put it in the paper until they took her organs on I think it was the 19th, or something like that, and he brought her in on the 9th.
Well, let me ask you this though: what motive would he have to kill her?
Okay, this man, a man was murdered. His name was Daniel Smiley on March 10th of multiple stab wounds, and Daniel Hunt found him. I think he set this guy up, personally, for money. Because he was using my niece for money and her kind heart to take care of his kids.
Okay, I'm looking at this one. So this is, let's see. I think this is the guy right here. Is he a black guy?
White guy. But the black guy was the man who murdered.
Oh. So this guy is the murderer.
Smiley.
I see. So let's see.
Right.
Well, where does it say Hunt?
Daniel Hunt was the man that killed my niece.
I know, but you said that
31
Hunt,
years.
But how does Hunt? You saying Hunt found Smiley though?
Correct. Yes. So personally, I feel like maybe he set that man up for money, to try and take money, and he's the one who found them. Even Inspector Burke thought he was involved and questioned everybody, but supposedly it was that black man who did the murder.
Yeah, that's Jason. Wait, see. No, excuse me. Kasim Baker, 32.
Right.
And 2 murder charges. They must have killed somebody else too.
Right.
Let's see. John Callan said Daniel Smiley, 65, of Morris, died from multiple stab wounds over his body and was pronounced. Is this this year? Yeah, this year.
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, the thing is the world that. What's the guy that you're nervous about? What's his name again?
His name is Daniel Hunt.
Okay, Daniel Hunt. Yeah, I mean,
yes,
he's in a world where it's just, I mean, it is weird that he has now been the person who found 2 dead people, right?
Right.
But it's also in a world where there's deaths a lot, so that's the thing. Is it really that weird, or is it just kind of, if you're into that kind of drugs, or those kind of drugs, that you're just likely to come across deaths often. True,
but it's just suspicious that he found a couple of dead people. I don't know if he was, like I said, I don't know if he set up Smiley.
How would he set him up?
Suspicion.
Like, how did he set him up for Kasim to kill him? Like, what was the reason he killed him?
Money. For money. If he was involved in drugs and needed money and couldn't get more money from my niece, then it's a possibility that he might have been involved in that.
Wait, so that's the same apartment complex too, though?
Yes, sir. Right across the street. And my niece knew.
Right across the street from where? Because you gave me the same address. This one right here for this case says a 32-year-old Joliet man is wanted in connection with a murder that occurred at an apartment complex in the 800 block of Twilight Drive. And that's the same thing that you told me when we started the show. So when you say across the street, I don't know if you can see my screen, but I'm looking at apartments. Where's the other apartment?
Ashley lived across the street in that apartment. I just didn't want to give out her direct address.
Well, she's not. I mean, she's not
She
there
don't live
anymore.
there no more.
Right. So it probably doesn't matter then, right? I mean.
Yeah.
So when you say
True.
across the street, do you? There doesn't seem to be an apartment complex across the street.
Yeah,
There's
there's
just-
apartments to the right of her, and she lived on the left side of the apartments. The buildings on the left-hand side. There's a bunch of
can you see my
apartments. They have no
screen?
security cameras at all in that place, and I told their landlord when I was, cleaning out her. She had a 3-bedroom apartment, 2 bathrooms, lived there for years. We had to clean that all out, and
well,
I know
when
I'm
looking at
making
the
much
apartments.
sense, but-
I'm looking at the apartments on the 800 block, and I don't see when you say street. I think of a street as a street. Are you talking about
it's
because there's Twilight? There's
It's
no
called Twilight Drive. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I know, but on the 800 block there's apartments, and there's no apartments across the street from it. Are you talking about these other apartments that are? I guess there's a Twilight Drive. Well, it's weird because there's a Twilight Drive like this, and then Twilight Drive. Also, there was a name a minute ago. It said Twilight Drive there, but what's the name of the apartment complex? Do you know that?
Oh, good Lord, I can't even remember. My mind is so scattered for this past 6 months from going through all this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's still weird. I mean, so you're talking about there was 2 deaths, and and she died in April?
Yes, April 9th, he dropped her off at the hospital.
But she died in these apartment the same, almost exact same place, really. I mean,
She died in his apartment.
Uh-huh.
I don't have that exact address. But he, instead of calling the ambulance, he just left her there, cleaned out the apartment, the Inspector Burke said, because they searched the dumpsters, they searched his apartment, they couldn't find any evidence. On his second investigation with Daniel, he told him that when he was driving Ashley to the hospital, he pulled the needle out of the arm and whipped it out the window.
Uh-huh.
And I said, did you look for that needle? Because there's fingerprints on it. Because I know darn well Ashley didn't inject herself. Now, the woman who was there, whose name is Katie, do not know her last name, Inspector Burke thinks she's involved also.
Yeah. I need to get this. I need to get the location thing settled, okay? Because it's bugging me. This is kind of what I do. So, the apartment. Right. I need you to give me really kind of. I don't know if you can see the screen or not, but I need to see what the. Well, I want to see the location of.
Okay.
So, did they die in the? They didn't die in the same apartment complex. These 2 different people, right? Or was it the same apartment?
Smiley did die in those apartment complexes. I'm so sorry, Gray, that I don't have the exact address with me right now. I'd have to call my sister and say, hey, what was Ashley's address? I'd go over to visit.
Well, but it wouldn't really. She just lived across the street. But everybody that died was in an apartment, right? This other guy that died, the 65-year-old Daniel something else, and your niece, they all died in an apartment, right? But she wasn't even in her apartment. You said she died in this other Daniel.
His apartment.
Yeah, his apartment. And then this other guy, it'd be interesting to know how far apart they lived, and maybe he had something to do with giving drugs. I don't know, man. It's just weird. I mean, why was the guy... I don't think... Your niece's death seems like he could have been part of that one because it was, maybe he gave her drugs and she died, and he made it sound, made it look like she took the drugs, and they can't prove otherwise because he threw away the needle. The other case... The other case is like somebody else stabbed the guy to death. So it seems like they're not... And they've even arrested that guy. So
not connected.
Yeah, it seems like they're not connected. But it's weird that he's the one. You're saying that he's the one that found that body too.
Daniel Hunt found him. Correct.
Huh.
I personally feel like Daniel Hunt might have set up Daniel Smiley to try and rob. They were trying to rob him of finances.
Oh, well, I guess wouldn't the guy that was arrested mention something like that?
It's a possibility. Here's my problem. Been following you for years. I don't understand why Inspector Burke did not use Daniel's phone or Ashley's phone to ping off of cell towers to try and find out where they drove to get the drugs, because it's a drug-induced homicide.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe that's something. Have you asked them about that?
I sure did. And I just feel like they're chalking it up to another drug overdose, because Inspector Burke is finished with his investigation, gave his information to the state's attorney, but we as a family, it's been 4 months, we have not heard anything from the state's attorney.
I mean, are you guys absolutely sure? What's her name again? Was it Ashley? Is that what you said?
Ashley Conrad was my niece.
Right. Are you absolutely sure she just never did drugs at all?
Absolutely. I know darn well. Like I said, she lived with me for the first 8 years of her life. I took care of her. She lived with me while she.
But I mean, some people are good at tricking people. I mean, the thing is some people act totally normal, and then when they're alone, they're doing things that you don't have any idea about.
This is true. She could have been not honest with me and never called me and said, Auntie Lori, I tried drugs and I need to go to rehab. That's something that's a great possibility. But I know darn well that she did not inject herself. That's why he threw the needle away, because of fingerprints.
Yeah. I guess the thing is with it would be, it seems like even if he did kill her, it would be more like a manslaughter type thing. Yeah. Because it doesn't seem like there's any not that you have to prove motive, but what would be the point of killing her? Like it wasn't like there was a robbery motive or anything, right? Or
no, well, this Katie woman who was involved, who Daniel moved in with when Ashley kicked him out, could have possibly been the one who injected Ashley, or Daniel injected Ashley. That's why they threw the needle away, because there's fingerprints on it. Because Ashley couldn't even put a dang Band-Aid on her kids. I would have to doctor up her kids. So we know darn well that she personally did not inject herself with this. The thing is Daniel's missing now. They can't find him. His mother's hiding him. His wife that he was still married to is not giving any information of where he's at. And I've tried, like you, trying to sleuth to try and find out where he's at. But, oh, great, I don't even know why I'm calling.
Well, it's interesting. I'm just trying to figure out, I mean, from your perspective, you know her a hell of a lot better than any of us do. I'm just throwing out possibilities, and you don't think that she would have taken the drugs, and the guy's probably responsible in some way. I don't think, but it doesn't feel like like he just went up and injected her, because that would be but so that means she was willingly wanted to do it.
I agree.
Right, so.
And it's very hard for us to try and figure out, what did he say? I'm going to give you this. It's going to make you forget all your problems, blah, 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 Yeah. But it's hard for us to accept that, too.
Yeah, so he's probably, like if they had found the needle and found his fingerprints on it and not hers, there'd be some problems. But he knew that was the only thing linking it. and he got rid of it. So, well, I guess you might not ever get the actual answer. It'll be one of those.
No, I know we're not going to. Yeah.
Rabbit holes that you spend your whole life wanting answers, but you might not get it in this type of a case.
No, there's
It's
lots
crazy.
of answers that we realize that we're not going to get. I just want, we as a family, just want someone to be held accountable. We're not looking for any compensation. We just feel like laws have to be changed or something. Like, how can, these people be protected? I know there's drug overdoses all the time.
Yeah, how does a good Samaritan law help somebody who was there? I mean, did he claim he wasn't even there when she was doing the drugs? He just stumbled upon her, or what?
Oh no, he claimed he was there. What he told the inspector was, when they inject drugs, that he would go in the bathroom, Ashley would stay in wherever, the bedroom. Which I don't believe, because had he injected himself, he'd be dead too if it was pure fentanyl. So,
yeah,
I don't understand that. But the thing is the inspector can't find him, because nobody's giving up any information where he's at.
So she was injected with pure fentanyl.
Correct. Injector. So if he was using the drugs and Katie was using the drugs, they'd be dead too. So they gave it to her first.
Yeah. I don't know. What's weird, I can't really think of a way that you're going to get an answer unless the guy actually admits to it.
Right.
Daniel.
Well,
because there's no, unless he or tells somebody at some point.
Yeah, this is true.
Because he's just, it's the drug world. People don't really talk that much.
True.
I don't know. Man, it sucks. To be honest with you.
I'm not gonna lie, it really does suck, and I feel like more police are just chalking it up to as another drug overdose, and like you said, we're never going to get any answers. The state's attorney, it's been 4 months since he's got the case, and we haven't heard anything from him, so I just feel like we're never going to get any answers. But I guess I just wanted to put it out there that these frickin' laws need to be changed, and...
Yeah. Well, oops, I was going to move Blue into... Yeah, well, I mean, I feel bad for you. It's one of those sucks because yes, you definitely want to have somebody held accountable.
Yeah, I'm not looking for sympathy. I don't know. I was just putting out there my personal.
Yeah, well, it's out there. See, there you go. Boom.
Okay.
It's on the.
All right.
You got your story out, but I appreciate you calling in.
Okay.
I don't know. I hope they find something for you. I just, it's frustrating.
Yeah. All right. Well,
good luck.
Appreciate everything you do, Gray, and I have to get ready to go into work tonight, and then I will rewatch the show.
Okay. All right. Well, you did good. You'll sound good when you rewatch it. All right.
Take care.
You too. Bye.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah, no problem.
All right.
Oh, oops. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for calling in. Those are heartbreaking ones because you got something that just seems like it's also the genre that police aren't quite as interested in, because those are the people that are putting themselves in danger in general, and so they're going to focus in on quote, the innocent people. Although I'm not really quoting anybody, that's my quote. Right. That's what I was saying. They just treat them. I mean, people that are doing drugs are putting themselves in a dangerous situation. Hey, thanks, Mitch. I really appreciate it. Yes, that is absolutely true. And even if you don't like Trump, at least he's really fighting against that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Meth epidemic is destroying middle American families.
Yeah, you hear me singing along with that? It's pretty good. Oh, there was something I was gonna... Where's that story? Yeah, this seems like another one of these fructose type cases that popped up. Look at this. I'm gonna put the I'll still take the calls. I'm just gonna bring this up really quick. Man accused of kidnapping wife and killing her father has history of violating protective orders. The search for the man accused of kidnapping his wife and murdering his father-in-law is over, but a big question remains. Why was he out of jail to begin with? Right. Terry Whitehouse, 37, has been released from jail without bail the day before the manhunt began. He had been arrested for violating a protection order his wife took out against him, and it wasn't the first time. Cases of domestic violence are all different, so there's no real telling what led up to this, but by looking at the history of the police reports and charges stretching back to 2010, there are some clues. There are situations where it is kind of a head-scratcher. An individual might have been released. Mary Savage with the Kentucky Coalition Against Domestic Violence said. In 2016, Terry Whitehouse had violated an emergency protective order his wife, Melinda, took out against him. He did it again a week ago. It is definitely a high-risk indicator when someone violates a protective order. They're basically saying to the court and to the law, I don't care. Yeah, that's exactly right. It's very scary when they start breaking the, restraining orders and those types of things. I don't care. I'm going to violate it. And that shows that person is more dangerous, Savage said. So if there was a history of Whitehouse ignoring EPO before, why was he released without bail the day before the manhunt? Crazy. Anyways, I do have a call right here. All right, 936, you're on the air.
Hey, Gray, what's going on? It's Steven.
Hey, what's up?
Oh, not. I got a story back from like 2004 at a biker rally in Austin that I went to.
Oh yeah.
It's really short. There's not a whole lot to it, but it's something I never forgotten. Like we party all day long, and like it happens in the middle of summer. Or I think it's in July or something, so it's like super hot. Like a concrete slab. It's called Rally Over Texas, I think.
Where do they do it? Where do they do it? Where was it?
It's in Austin.
I know, but
It's
where?
every year.
Right, but where in Austin?
It's at a hockey rink. I believe it's a hockey rink they have there. It's a stadium. They basically like close the stadium off and the surrounding area, and then people just like camp there.
In Austin?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But yeah. Anyway, I was in my early 20s. And walking around, me and my buddy got all drunk, spent the whole day partying in the sun. I don't know. It was like 2 a.m. and everybody else was, I don't know, I found myself separated from everybody else. And you were able to like walk into the stadium and out of the stadium, like just willy-nilly, but I just happened to be in the stadium pretty much alone. Like if you can imagine yourself being like inside of a big giant arena, hockey stadium by yourself, it's pretty crazy. So I was just up there just kind of chilling, like enjoying the just the whole thing, being there alone or whatever. And this weird looking biker dude, man, like if you can just imagine the archetypical biker, like all like wearing chaps and big old beard and sunglasses at 2-3 o'clock in the morning. And I'm sitting at the very top of the row of bleachers or stands or whatever it is. And I'm sure you could pull it up. I forget. I think it's the hockey stand or whatever. It's like a really popular thing. But anyway, I'm like just sitting up there, and this biker guy just goes to the bottom, like where the walkway is, like you're about to walk up the stairs, but he don't walk up, and he just stares at me. And I don't say anything. I'm like 21 at the time, maybe. I'm not even sure if I was old enough to drink. I'm not sure. Yeah, I probably was. But anyway, I'm like half drunk, and I'm like looking at like, what is this dude doing? So I kind of like just stand up, and there's a good 100 yards of, seems like a time, 100 yards of bleachers that I could have walked down before I hit the end of the stadium or whatever. And so I just started walking. I walked, I don't know, down 2 or 3 rows, and I sat back down at another top bleacher or whatever. And the guy just like stood there for a minute, watched me walk over there, and then he followed me back and stood at the bottom. And like we did this for like 15, 20 minutes. And I was, yeah. So I feel like the dude had like some kind of crazy shit in mind. I don't know. That's really all there was to it, but it was.
What happened when you left? Or did you just walk a different direction, or what?
I don't know. I waited till he left. I just kept doing that, like moving around, and eventually I walked to another. I moved again, and he just, instead of following me and standing at the bottom and staring at me, he just left. And I just waited, 10, 15 minutes and exited out of the opposite door that he left.
Wow. But like, no matter where you walked, how many times did you move? And then he like, you would move it, but you were higher up. Hold on. So you were higher up in the bleachers, and then he was below you, but every time you'd move, he'd sort of move with you?
Yeah. Yeah, he'd move to the bottom of the bleachers and just kind of stare directly at me.
Well, how would he do that, though, if he's below you on the bleachers? He was turned around looking up at you?
Yeah, looking up like it was creepy as hell.
What the hell are you talking about? Wait a minute, come on. So he's sitting below you on the bleachers.
No, he wasn't sitting, he was standing.
Okay.
So he never even got into the bleachers. Like, he stayed in the aisle at the bottom.
Oh, I see. So he
walking up.
Like where the players, if you were on a team, you'd be sitting there and then run out on the court, like there, kind of, right? Like.
Well, like you're walking down bleachers. There's the main aisle at the very bottom before you start walking up the stairs. He stayed on that main aisle.
Yeah, and then there's aisles that go up too, so you can go onto a row. Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so he was on the bottom.
He never even stepped up those.
So he was like a security guard, like a way a security guard would be, not looking at what's going on in the arena. He's looking up into the bleachers, right?
Yeah.
So every time you moved, he kind of moved. Maybe he had his eye on you, like, what the hell is this? He was looking at you like you were somebody.
You like I was this.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, exactly. He was the undercover. He was like an undercover security guard, and he was looking at you like, holy shit, I better keep my eye on this guy.
Well, awesome. I don't know, because ROT, if you want to look it up, whatever. It's pretty like. Almost basically laws don't apply. Like, as long as you don't hurt anyone, you're good. As long as you don't hurt or steal, like biker rules apply there, and like the cops really don't do anything. People are walking around, smoking weed, and people walk around butt naked. It's just crazy shit, man.
That would be pretty strange, though. To be every time you move. How many times did you move when you're in there?
At least 4 times, man. I feel like.
And did you move like far away from the other spot?
Oh yeah. I would go down 3 or 4 more rows of bleachers, and then he'd follow me down there, and then I'd turn back around and go back the other way a few more rows. And that happened at least. We did that for like 10, 15 minutes. It seems like. Before he finally just left, and I was. What a creep, man. It was pretty trippy.
Wow.
But he didn't look like a security guard or anything like that. And plus, like I said, there really is no laws there. Like, there ain't no cops or patrols. Like, they just leave the if you had it on Google Maps right now, you'd see it's a pretty big stadium. Like, it's all open for you to just free reign in the
Well,
place.
what's the name of it then? I wasn't able to find it.
I can't. I wish I could remember the name of the stadium. But if you just looked up ROT, R.O.T, and you'd find it if you just Google that, because it's basically the biggest biker rally in Texas.
Okay, bike or oh hell, I don't know. Well, this is going somewhere.
I'm sorry.
Oh, is it like the Travis County Exposition Center?
It could be. Yeah, that looks like it right there. Yeah, maybe.
Maybe it's.
You would find a lot. You'd know exactly where it was if you Googled RT, because they have it at the same place every year. So, and like Charlie Daniels, whatever year Charlie Daniels played that year, that's the year it was that I was there that it happened. It was pretty crazy, but I mean, nothing happened to me. It was just like I always wondered sometimes, what is this dude thinking, man? Like, what was he thinking?
Yeah, Blue's going nuts.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah. Hey, Blue, what's up, buddy? Come here, Blue. Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I'll let you go. It's not that crazy. It's just a little short story. Something that's always stuck with me.
All right, cool. Well, I gotta go check on Blue. So,
all right.
Thanks for calling in. All right, see you. All right. Dang, Blue, there was nothing there, man. You just freaked out about nothing. No, Gray, there's always something there. Blue, quiet. Blue's like, he's like a little 4-year-old, okay? Come here, Blue. Come here, buddy. All right. See, Blue's like a 4-year-old. And the reason he's like a 4-year-old is that he does the little thing where if you go, Blue, stop doing that, he'll give you one little extra bark. It's sort of like when you're poking your brother and then or sister, and your mom says something like, hey, quit poking your brother, and then you do that one extra poke. That's what Blue does. He knows he gets that little extra one in, okay? I don't know if he's defined. Yeah, I guess that would be the term. He's just, he always thinks he can get that one more in. Like he'll be barking. Right, Blue? And then I'll say, Blue, and he'll go, wow. But it's so funny. It's just like, what are you doing, Blue? Hey, you just punched me in the face, Blue. What the hell was that? So that's what I'm saying. He does it all the time. Yeah. Oh, by the way, he had his nails done and his anal glands squeezed again. He seems like he's getting used to that. He likes it. All right. What are you doing, Blue? What's this mean when you do that? Say hello to everybody. Yeah, there he goes. Yeah. Oh, got a call in there. All right. 903, you're on the air.
Gray Hughes, this is Martha Mullen calling from Texas.
Hello, Martha Mullen, calling from Texas.
Yes. I have a little bit of a story. It has no relation to you, but it involves the town of Hughes Springs.
Oh, my God.
Texas.
Oh, boy.
Can you believe that?
Yeah. Is that why you emphasized
Okay,
my name
so-
when you called in? When you said, "Hey, Gray Hughes"? Is that why you did that?
Hughes?
Yeah.
Yeah. This story goes back to 1998, and for some of your younger viewers, maybe they never heard of the railway killer. Angel Maturo Resendez, back in the day when he killed 9 people on a stretch of railways
I see the railway.
between, I guess, West Texas, Illinois, Kentucky.
Wow. I don't even know
So
that
he
name
killed.
myself.
Go ahead.
I don't even know that name myself. So. Yeah, so go ahead. Tell me what happened in Hughes Springs.
Okay, so Hughes Springs is a small town. I graduated from high school there. The police chief was, I think, a year younger than me. His name is Randy Kennedy, still is the police chief over there. It's a little town with a population of about 1,900. So there was this elderly lady in her, I think she was 85, 87, something like that. And every day she would go up to the nursing home. She'd catch a ride with someone and go up to the nursing home to visit a mentally challenged sister she had up there. And so her ride came to get her one day, and she wasn't at the door. And this
Well,
lady
where was the
known
nursing
to
home?
always-
Well, where was the nursing home?
The nursing home was in Hughes Springs. It was just, half a mile from where she lived.
Well, do you know where this is? Can you give me some address? Because people like to kind of see what you're exactly talking about. Do you have any addresses?
Okay, I
or-
don't know. Her address, Miss Mason's address, was West 1st Street. I don't know the house number.
Okay.
I don't know the house number at all. But there's probably no... The city limits of Hughes Springs probably just entails about a mile. It's just really a small place. The nursing home name was Theron, Theron Granger.
Theron. Wait, hold on. Theron. Okay, go ahead. Theron nursing home.
Theron Granger, Granger.
I'm headed to work HUZE. Sorry,
Hold on a
real
second.
quickly, are you coming on tomorrow? 101.
Yes, I'll probably be coming on tomorrow. I seem to come on every single freaking day, right, freaks? 'Cause
Every
it's
day
fun.
of the world.
Yeah, why not? The crimes don't stop. What I do is almost like being a nurse, right? People get sick. People, well, it's not exactly the same, but you know what I'm saying. All right, so I've
It's
got.
a lot the same.
I couldn't find Theron Granger Nursing Home.
Okay. It may be
How do you
spelled
spell-
out in another name.
Well, how do you spell Theron?
You know what?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's called Grace Hill.
No,
Grace
no.
Hills now.
Not Grays.
Yeah, these are Grace.
Okay, good.
C as in Charlie.
Okay, I was going to say, Grays Hills in Hughes, Texas? Are you kidding me?
Can you imagine?
Okay, what's it called? Oh, wait. Ooh, wait, there it is. Grace Hills Nursing Home. Okay, there it was. Yeah, okay, got it. Right there.
Okay, so that's where her mentally challenged sister was living. So she had supposedly arranged a ride to go up there, but when the ride got to Miss Mason's house, her name was Leafy, Leafie, Leafy Mason. The ride gets to her house, and they can't get her to the door. There's no movement. This is a woman who's prompt and doesn't mind telling you shouldn't be late. So she called the police chief, Randy Kennedy, and they came up there and looked, and of course they had to break into the house, but they did find her bludgeoned to death.
Wow.
On the floor under a blanket.
No, so she was at the nursing home, but where was she found? You said something about a nursing home, so how did that relate to...
Okay, so that was her sister who was at the nursing home, and
Okay.
Miss Mason was getting ready to go up there to see her.
I see. So she lived in a house somewhere around in this area, and then was going to go visit the sister in the nursing home, but she never showed up, and then people went to look for her probably, right, and then found her bludgeoned to death underneath the blanket.
Yeah, under a blanket.
Any robbery? What was her name?
The one under the blanket?
Yeah. What, the one under the blanket?
That was Lisa. That was Miss Mason.
You made it sound so...
Leafy Mason.
Okay, spell that.
Leaf, as in Frank.
Yeah.
I-E, Leafy.
And then Mason, and this is
just
Texas.
Yeah.
Okay, that's probably only one of those would ever show up.
You know, I know CBS had a good story on it. I think CNN back in the day had a good story. I mean, it was all over the national
What
news,
year was that? 1990?
1998.
Okay. Let's see. Didn't find anything. Leasie Mason, right?
No, F. F is in Frank.
Oh, Fecy Mason? Wait.
Leafy.
Leafy. Leafy. Leaf. Oh, okay. There's only going to be one of those, right? There you go.
Probably.
Oh, yeah, it says Hughes Springs, so here we go. So this is the funeral announcement, but she was 87 years old. I don't like seeing my name so often. Hughes Springs Services. 87 of Hughes Springs. Yeah, it's like, get my name off of there. Let's see. Let me find a different one.
Let me give you the killer's name.
Yeah, so they actually did find the killer?
Oh,
that's
my
gosh.
You've got to make a mystery. You three men need to make a mystery about this.
The serial killer is what you're talking about. The guy that you mentioned.
Yes. His first name was Angel, Angel, or Angel, however you want to pronounce it. And his last name was Resendez.
And then how do you spell that?
Resendez.
And then maybe there's no year. I don't need to put a year maybe with him. Is he all across the country?
I think I think all of it, oddly enough, happened in 98, unless there's some that hasn't been associated. But he's already received a capital sentence for this.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I'll have to look that up on... Was his name Jose?
No,
Resendez?
Angel, the middle name was Maturino, which...
I guess we could just look it up on... Let me just do it there. I might even use newspapers.com. Okay. So, Angel Resendez. Or it's a D-I-Z, not easy at the end. So that was...
Is it D-I-Z? Okay.
That was probably why. So let's see. His victims. Man, he has a lot. 16 victims, it looks like. And what was her name again? Let's see if we can find it.
Her name was Leafy Mason.
Oh, there it is. There it is. October 4th, 1998. Beaten to death with an antique flat iron after entering her house through a window. What was his motive? Like, what was he normally just killing?
I think that he was riding the rail trains, and it seems to me, I mean, that's been 20 years ago, but it seems to me what my memory wants to say, he was robbing these people, and periodically he'd make trips back to Mexico to, take a few funds back to the family or whatever.
Wow. He
finally gave himself up at the border, after Texas Rangers, DPS, and I guess the FBI probably all got involved. And a DPS officer walked across the bridge at the border and met him, and he gave himself up. But
Yeah,
he had all of his family.
He
there
was killing
behind him.
from 86 all the way up to 99, but he seemed to have more of them between like 97 and 99. He killed 12 people, and then 4 in years before. But he seemed like he bludgeoned people a lot. Like a lot of them say
He
bludgeoned to
did.
death. He just pounded them away with something. Like, okay, for example, it
And
says
I
up here.
thought of-
Well, hold on, let me read. It says, bludgeoned to death with a brick in the first one. Bludgeoned to death with an air house coupling, whatever the hell that is. Then another one is beaten to death with an antique flat iron. Bludgeoned to death with a tire rim. Yeah, that's crazy. And then bludgeoned to
Yeah,
death.
they were all weapons of opportunity because of the way
Yeah.
he traveled.
Then bludgeoned to death with a sledgehammer. Jesus. Bludgeoned to death with a pickaxe. Bludgeoned to death with the same pickaxe. So those were the same. He killed 2 people at the same time.
2.
Yeah, Noemi Dominguez. And I might have to go look this one up, do a show on it. Wow, never even heard of it.
Yeah, I mean, very interesting. I think of all the victims he had, there was one young girl who survived. Maybe he had tried to choke her with a belt or something, but she came to after a while, and it was near a railroad, And I thought of this last night when you were talking about the young girl walking to the, going to go get the blouse and then go home, and there was a railroad track there. And, I mean, years ago, people used to ride those trains. I mean, that was transportation to a lot of people.
Yeah. Let me, I'm trying to, this is crazy. I mean, what do they classify him as? I mean, is he he seems like a serial killer, but maybe, I don't know if that's what because it seems like there's always,
I think that's what.
Yeah. I don't know. That does seem like a serial killer, I mean, it seems pretty classic, but a lot of times, serial killers, a lot of times you have a specific, like their, I don't know. I mean, if he was killing for money or, I don't know. I think the classification is if you just kill 3 different people in unrelated crimes, so you end up being a serial killer. And there's a little bit more information too.
So this maybe sounds like a spree or something.
Yeah, well, it says he's a serial killer here. Serial murder, sexual assault. So he did do sexual assault too. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, the young girl who survived had been sexually assaulted. I think she had to go, when she came to, she had to go to a home, and she was, without any clothes or anything on. It was dark, of course, and she couldn't find anything and was disoriented. Oddly, too, she ended up being a gal from Indiana who, once she recovered, she went back.
Yeah, it's weird because he did a lot of his killings in death penalty states. So he did end up being executed in a very short 7 years on death row.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. Man. Beaten to death.
A young doctor in San Antonio was one of his victims. And, I mean, they were all sad stories.
Yeah, and he'd kill old people, like, let's see, 3 of them are 80 or more. And then a 73-year-old, too. Yeah, what a barbarian. Never even heard of him. Crazy. Well, thanks. I'm going to look this one up. Maybe we'll have to do a show on it. Go through each one and map it out, track him around.
Yeah.
There might be, I wonder if there's even more that they didn't assign to him.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Unless he admitted.
I mean, he was
Yeah. I don't know.
bad dude.
Yep. Awesome. Well, thanks.
Anyway,
Yeah.
enjoy your shows, and I'll get off of here and keep listening, and hello to all the freaks.
Were you actually acquaintance of her? Or, I mean, what made you bring up her?
Miss Mason?
Yeah, like what made you bring her up?
Well, my husband at the time was he and I both were in forensics, and he was doing a lot of crime scene reconstruction. And we just happened to be in Maine on vacation when this happened. And Randy Kennedy called me, and he's just because we went to high school together, and asked me if I thought John would be of any assistance to him because, you know, Miss Mason had been found bludgeoned. And I said, well, you two will have to talk about that. You know, and the thing is, all the law enforcement around here thought it would be somebody local. And the reason was Miss Mason had been to a birthday party just a few days prior, and it was her birthday. I don't remember exactly what her birthday was, but she had received a lot of cash as a present at her party. So then this happens, and law enforcement just assumes that, you know, that it was breaking into her house to get that cash. So thought it was somebody that knew her.
That must have been really throwing them off for years, because that would seem really logical. And then you wouldn't think that there was just some random serial killer.
It only threw them off for like a few months, because they did find a palm print on the window at the back of Miss Mason's house. Mm-hmm. And I think it was like some kind of cowboy hat that the guy had dropped there. I mean, he left some.
That's dumb.
Yeah.
Especially now. But all right. Well, wow, interesting story. You have to tell us about your forensic work sometime. I got another caller. It's been on hold for about, I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes, but this was interesting. So I'm going to actually definitely have to cover it. But yeah, you should call in and tell us about your forensic work at some point.
I will.
Awesome. Well, what was your name again? What was your name again? I'm going to write it down so I could.
Martha Mullen.
Martha Mullen. Okay. All right, Martha. See you in the chat.
See you later.
All right, thanks. See you.
Bye.
Bye. Martha Mullins. Or was it just Mullen? Was it S at the end or Mullen? Okay. 440, you're on the air.
Hey, Gray, it's Sarah Beth.
Sarah Beth Colagrass, is that right?
Yes, that's right.
All right, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad.
So I'm calling about my dad's girlfriend who was murdered back in 1980, and it's still unsolved today.
Where is that?
It's in Mansfield, Ohio.
What was that first? The name of that city or town?
Mansfield. Mansfield.
Okay. And that's your father's girlfriend? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well,
I have her home address.
Oh yeah. What's that?
It's 371 West 3rd Street.
Okay. And let me. I might just make another folder for this one.
Okay.
And what's her name?
Deborah Holbrook.
Deborah, you said?
Deborah. Mm-hmm.
Like D.
And then Holbrook, Holbrook.
Okay, and then Deborah, is that Debra or AH? Or
Deb. Deborah.
Oh wow. Okay. A lot of different ways to spell that one, but.
Right.
At least I tell myself that. There's probably only one, but I didn't know how to spell it. Although I have seen Debra and a whole bunch of different ones. Okay, so that's the address. Let me just get that in there. And that's where she lived. Okay, Got it.
So this happened June 26, 1980. And she was walking from her house with her sister. She was 21, by the way, to a bar or an inn, they call it. And I have the address of that if you want that.
Okay, yeah. What's that?
That's 72 North Walnut Street.
See, everybody, if you call in, if you can have this kind of detail, it'd be awesome. And what's the name of is the bar still there? Or
I don't think so. It was called Khalifa Inn.
you know what? Can you see my screen?
No, and I can pull it up really quick.
Okay.
Okay,
Maybe,
I see it.
like where on that? Because it's sort of in the intersection or just right in the middle of a street.
I'm actually not from the area, so I'm not sure at all. I only read about it in the papers and what my dad told me and her sister.
Maybe this building right here, though, maybe? Kind of looks like a...
It might be.
Okay, we'll just put a bar.
Yeah, I never actually saw the path. I
Oh,
never
oh.
mapped out myself to see the path from her house to the inn.
Yeah, it's not. It's just right there, look. You just go down and boom, you're right there. You would-
Okay.
basically, you would just go down West 3rd Street and then take a left on North Walnut and boom, you're right there.
Gotcha.
All right.
So
it's
her
not-
and her sister were walking to the bar. Oh, and they're deaf, by the way. They can't hear. They're hearing impaired. So they were walking to the bar, and her sister ran into a friend and stopped to talk to him. And Deborah said, "I'll go ahead to the inn. I'll meet you there." She arrived. She ordered a Coke, and after that, she disappeared. Her body was found the next day, dumped, and I have that location as well.
Okay, what's that?
That's Camp Glen Taylor.
Camp,
Yes.
and then what else?
Glenn, Glenn,
Okay.
and Taylor, Taylor.
Well, that doesn't. Nothing shows up. Camp Glen Taylor. Is that what you said?
Yeah, and it's near Charles Mill Lake.
Okay, let's try this again. And what? And that's in what state? Where are we right now?
That's Ohio.
Ohio. Okay.
Yeah, this is Ohio, but I don't think the camp is in Mansfield. I think it's outside of it.
And it's called Camp. Say that again. Let's try that again. Camp.
Camp Glen Taylor.
Yeah, nothing pops up for that. Is it Taylor
Okay, well,
spelled
it's right on
differently? Maybe it's
That highway there.
Okay, so where do you think it is from here? Let's see. Oh wow. Maybe it's a camp. Maybe it's changed its name since then, though. So like a campground.
Yeah, probably.
Campground.
Yeah, but it's by the lake.
Oh, there we go.
Um,
See, yeah, I mean, I'm right here. I was just right there. So what lake were you? It's right. There's two of them. There's Eagle Point, Charles Mill Park, and then Charles Mill Lake Park. And those are really the only two campgrounds.
yeah,
anywhere
it's
near-
the first one. It's the one closest to the city.
This one right here that you're looking at?
No, the other one. Not that one.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get back. Well, the city's over here, so it would be this one. That's the closest one.
Oh, okay. Okay, so then it's the one. Yeah, it's not, I'm sorry, it's the second one then.
Okay, so somewhere out on this like island here or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's not really an island, but like a. All right. Wow. So her body was found out there.
She was found. What's that?
Her body was found out here. Just.
Yep.
Okay, I was just rephrasing it. Okay, so her body was found there. Now go ahead.
She was found nude, and her throat was slit. She had some stab wounds, and she was strangled, which didn't make sense to me. But, and they found like a sticky substance on her back that they traced back to adhesive used for plywood or ceramic tile. And they do have some DNA. Her clothes were found a month later in the same area, and they have some DNA. And I did try to talk to the sheriff's department about doing testing, but they didn't want to speak with me at all. So. I don't know what they're going to do with that. Hopefully they'll retest it with the new technology.
Yeah. There's
So
just
yeah,
so
never
many.
solved, and
Yeah. That's wild.
you
Do you know where was she
yeah,
found
he
out?
was under-
Where was she found out in this campground? Do you have any idea?
No, I don't. They said she was found in a heavily wooded area by a camp counselor because he saw a path that had been kind of worn down there. So he followed it and he found her. And there was, between 1978 and 1981, there's been 4 or 5 other women that have been murdered, all also unsolved from Mansfield. One on her street, and 1 2 streets over. So I don't know if those are connected at all. I haven't looked into the other ones, to be honest. Very deep.
Yeah, that sounds pretty suspicious. Right.
Right.
I mean, is Mansfield generally... What kind of a town is Mansfield in general? Is it pretty mellow? Or is there crime related? Or, I don't know.
Well, I think there's more crime now than there was back then. But when I talked to the reporter, she said the police were kind of corrupt back then. You know, I didn't live there. My dad wasn't even from there. His girlfriend was. So, you know, I don't know a whole lot about the area.
All right. Let's see. That just seems so weird. Like she went there. So what? The sister that was talking to a friend was a sister, or was it who was with her walking that stopped to talk to a friend?
It was a sister. She's also hearing impaired. So.
So it's like a genetic deal.
Yes. They had 4 kids, and 3 of them were deaf. The parents were deaf, and my dad's also deaf. So
she had time. So the sister though stopped to chat, probably signing or whatever she did, for so long that the other sister was able to go there, have a Coke, and the other one never even showed up for like how many minutes?
Right. That's what. Yeah, I can talk to her. I wanted to ask her how long did it take for you to get there and realize, from the time that you stopped till when you got there. The other thing is, a few witnesses said they saw her get into a vehicle, but my dad doesn't think she couldn't communicate with people the easiest. And he sees her as a very shy girl, and he just doesn't see how she would have gotten into a stranger's car,
Yeah, it's bizarre. What time of day was this?
Yeah.
Or night?
She was last seen, I think it was just after 6.
Just like after work, just wow. I mean, in general. And what day of the week was it?
I asked my dad, did she... that I'm not sure of.
So she was at the bar and she ordered a Coke, right?
Yeah, because she wasn't even a drinker, so I don't know why her and her sister were going there. I asked my dad if she smoked cigarettes. Maybe she stepped outside and then got taken, but my dad said she didn't even smoke cigarettes. Yeah. So
they didn't have surveillance back then? I know that's a little early.
I guess not.
Yeah,
I guess not. The one hearing sister that they had spoke to the police more. They really didn't interview. That was another thing that the sister complained about, that she didn't have an interpreter there, and she was the one last seen with her sister, and they really didn't interview her. But, I lost my train of thought. But, yeah, the hearing sister is the one who had communication with the police, and they wouldn't give her really anything. So, over the years she'd complained, but she passed. The only living relative she has is the one who was with her that night.
When was she found? What date was that?
The very next day. I believe it was like early morning hours.
Wow, that's pretty quick.
Right.
All right, well, I've got this all mapped out. I have to take a look at this one, too, with the old newspaper clips.
Weird. That'd be great. If you could
go to the camp.
And you'll come across the other murders when you read on this one, and you can tell me if you think they're related at all.
Okay, yeah. They'll just kind of pop up. They're wondering if they're associated. They usually do that in those articles. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, wow, that's an interesting one there. It's really...
Yeah, it's always bothered my dad. So, he has been pushing me to help him get some resolve,
Yeah. Did your dad, he learned sign language?
Yeah, I do sign language. I do interpreting, but because both my parents are deaf. My dad would not have met my mom, though, if this hadn't happened, because him and this woman, they wanted to get married, you know.
Well, I was going to say that, but I think you would have still been one of the kids. Whatever you're, you know, if you believe in souls or whatever, I think you'd still be...
Right.
You'd still be one of those kids.
That's true.
Yeah, that's what I think.
That's true.
So, all right. Well, wow. Thanks for calling in. That was a good one. Appreciate it. I'm going to look this one up, though. And, again, I got a bunch to look up
cool.
now.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Have a good one. Sarah Beth Colagrass. All right, thanks. All right, and 857, you're on the air.
Hey, Gray, how are you?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Good. I've
Who's
never
this?
called in before. It was like it took an act of God to get me to like.
An act of God. What's your name?
It did. My name's Shanna.
Shanna? Like, not. I thought you said.
Yep.
I thought you said Santa. Like, wow, like Santa Claus.
Everybody always thinks that if I call in to get a sub or anything ever, like takeout, it's always to Santa.
But
Which,
Shanna.
A little.
Like
a little
S-H-A.
uncomfortable. They look let down.
Yeah, like S-H-A-N-A or
But
N-N. Okay.
First of all, Blue is one handsome devil. My goodness.
Yeah, you gotta like Blue. You gotta like Blue.
Yeah, he's a good dude. So somebody mentioned, one of the mods mentioned that I should call in. I had put in a comment about my aunt who was murdered way back, probably 84, November of 84, I want to say. I am new to their family. I'm adopted. And I was able to track everybody down via DNA and, some super sleuthing. And I did come across a first cousin who, his mother, so my biological first cousin, his mother was murdered by, I believe, his father.
My favorite YouTube
in
channel.
front of him.
Oh, sorry. Somebody just...
I'm sorry?
That wasn't me. Somebody contributed.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Thanks, Rebecca Hudson and Billy Boy Blue. He's going to... Well, hold on. Don't speak, because Billy Boy Blue's... His nursery rhyme's going to come up. Okay. Here he comes. Here comes Billy Boy Blue. You'll hear it here in a second. Yeah, I'm glad he didn't put the actual joke part in there, okay? Because... it's too dirty, the original one, but thanks for editing that.
Mary, quite contrary, shave the poodle, it's so damn hairy.
Oh, there you go, Billy Boy Blue. All right, thanks for editing that one, Billy Boy Blue. All right. Okay. All right, so your first cousin's mother was killed by her husband.
In front of her son, my cousin. He is still alive. I heard, it's really hard. These people go by different names. They go by, it's really a bizarre situation. And I've gotten as much information as I can out of these people, but you never know, what spin they're putting on it. So I know that Cynthia Albright was murdered in, I want to say, Crescent City out in Del Norte, California.
And this is her name?
And I believe it was...
This is your...
I'm sorry?
No, but is this your
is my...
First
cousin?
cousin's...
It's my biological aunt.
Right. But I just want to make sure we got the right one. So you have a first cousin whose wife... Or, let's see. The wife was murdered.
His mom was murdered.
Right. The mom. Okay.
Yeah,
by the husband.
I don't know the guy's name.
Right?
I could not find anything on this, and I've gotten pretty good at online research because I had to track down everybody in my gene pool,
Yeah.
So I've figured out how to navigate a lot of searches and whatever, but I cannot come up with anything on these people.
What's her name again?
Her name was Cynthia Sue Albright, and she was from Florida. But she was living in Del Norte or Crescent City, California.
Oh, weird. That's funny because my mom and my biological father, they bought property in Crescent City, California, like, gosh, 45 years ago. Or
Really?
yeah, but it
Are
turned
you
out.
adopted too?
No.
Are you like no, just step situation?
Well, yeah, my dad, yeah, my biological father, he was a reclusive artist type, so he just left us. And the dad that I have now, I call Dad. He was just sort of a.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a very talented artist. That's about all I can say. But no. Anyway, so that was. I'll just
I
put
got
California. Yeah, he was just an idiot. Well, he was smart, but he was a shitty dad. Let's put it that way. Okay.
Yeah, there's some of that. Yeah.
So how do you
But
spell?
anyway,
is
yeah,
it Cynthia like Cynthia and then SUE and then Albright ALBRIGHT like that?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah, I don't
And they
see
call her
anything.
Cindy, but I don't know how if they were spelling it CY or CI. I've seen it both ways. And her son was really young when it happened, but it happened in front of him, I guess. And but he has like different people listed as his father, so I don't know.
What year
I
was
don't know
that? What
how
year
that-
was that?
Huh?
What year was that?
I believe it was like November of 1984.
Yeah, I can't see anything related to it.
It could have been 86. Those are the 2 years that I've heard tossed around. Now I did find shoot, I wish I had it. I have it saved somewhere, but I have an obituary. But it's very vague. It's like really one of those. It mentioned like her parents' names, but that's about it. Which are my biological grandparents.
So you haven't figured out what happened to her, though? You can't find anything about it?
I haven't. I mean, I know she was murdered, but I heard two things. I heard she was either stabbed with a screwdriver or strangled. I don't know. But, I mean, the whole family is just, like, total dysfunction personified. Like, my biological sister disappeared when she was, like, 3 or 4. Like, it's the same group of people, you know?
Right.
It sounds absolutely bizarre. So, like, I'm in contact with my biological mother's twin sister, and this is the information that she's, like, shared with me. But nobody really talked about any of this stuff in their family. Like, I mean, I guess you wouldn't really want to if it was something that was so personal, but at the same time, it's like, how is the information not out there, you know?
Yeah, I can't find anything.
Huh. Well, I mean, you know what? I'll email you the her obituary.
Yeah, do that.
I know I have it saved somewhere, but it's really strange because, like, this guy should still be in jail, you know, if he ever was. But I really couldn't find anything. And then, like, my cousin Josh has all these, you know, different people listed as his family, and I'm like, how is this? And then these people, like, Facebook friended me. I don't understand how everybody's connected, you know?
Yeah,
It's an
well,
odd situation.
you'll figure it out. You seem like you're pretty good. You know what?
Well, you know, but that's what drew me to you and your channel. Like, I'm intrigued by, like, how
Yeah. Well, why don't you send me a
kinda
bunch of
pull it
stuff?
all together.
Well, thanks. Yeah, why don't you send me as much as you can? Because
I will.
maybe it's just sort of the way I'm, writing your name, or you just need to find one little thing. Sometimes they don't even say the name. It's like a body found, and later on there's this little tiny blurb that said, body found a month ago was identified. Yeah, and it's like you might not.
I will send you whatever I can come up with. I know I did save a screenshot of her obituary, so I will look for that and I'll send it over to you, and maybe we can, get some more information rolling.
Well, good. I mean, that'd be cool to try to find something, anything at all. Yeah. All right.
Anything. Well, thank you so much.
Sure. That was great having you call in.
Thanks. Have a good night.
Oh, you too. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was cool, wasn't it? What was her name again, by the way, that just called in? I got it confused with the name. I was almost called her the name before that one. Or is that... Yeah. Yeah, I tried Cindy also. Oh, yeah, Shanna. There you go. I got to start writing them down when they call in. Yeah, sounds like Santa. I even forgot that part of it. That just shows you how my brain is. Sometimes I'm just focusing on what they're telling me and I forget all the... Who had 2 suspicious cases? What are you talking about? Oh, it's Albrecht. Oh, are you saying it might be Albrecht? Well, she said it was Albright. I mean, she's looking at it. Oh, yeah. What year was that about? Oh, yeah, she said 84-ish. Yeah. Yeah. 80s definitely wasn't that great. Oh, man, I got to do the auctioneer thing now.
I'm tired of it now.
84, 84, 85, 86, 84, 85, 80, 84, 84, 86, 84, 85, 86, 84, 84, 84, 85, 84, 84, 84, 84, 85, 86, 84, 85,
30, 30, now 5.
Yeah.
I'm 35.
I already said, oh, yeah, that's right, it was 84. All right, so now let's hit that like button. We're going to hit the...
I'm tired of it now. 10 down.
Hit the like button, 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 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, hey, hit the like button, hit the like button.
30, 30, now 5. I'm 35.
Is that like a clown, Kit Kat? What is that right there? A cowboy? Clown? '80s had great music. Lots of new, innovative stuff during that time. Now it's all just it's all the same. Great, that's because you don't listen to enough. Well, that's for damn sure. You're right. I mean, just think about the different types of music they had in the 80s. Michael Jackson, Cyndi Lauper, even, you know, like it's all over the place. Remember that? Blondie had a couple good ones. There's like literally Beastie Boys. You can just go on and on and on. You can go on and on and on and on. The beat don't stop until the break of dawn. One of the Beastie Boys songs. Yeah, everything. 80s was like every single thing was good. Amazing. Well, not every single. Yeah, right? Eurythmics, too. I remember that. It's crazy. Like, just so many different things that were totally different, but all pretty good. Yeah, 90s. What I liked was the variety the 80s had. It was so, like, completely different types of music, but they were all, you know, so many great new types, right? But now it's like everybody does the same kind of thing over and over again. Digitizing their voices to make because they can't sing worth a damn, so they digitize their voice to hit the right note because they couldn't do it. All right. You guys remember Squeeze? They were kind of like late 70s, but 79, and then they went through early 80s too. Like, that's so different, you know. I remember Tempted by the Fruit of Another, Black Coffee in Bed, Pulling Muscles from a Shell. Yeah, Up the Junction. There you go. See, a lot of people haven't heard that group, but man, I almost like every single one of their songs. It's crazy. No, not singing Jan a fan. Yeah, I said that. Tempted. Yeah. Anyways, I don't really have any more callers or anything like that. I wasn't going to stay on that long tonight anyways. However, I have been on for an hour and 45 minutes. No rapping. Oh, let me get back to that one story though that we had up earlier. It was another yeah, we were talking about another one of these crazy domestic violence deals here. Yeah, no problem, Kyra. Well, Sundays is normally when I do the live call-in show. However, I'm gonna watch Walking Dead later. I hope that the next second episode's better than the first one.
It's your day off, dude, and thanks for showing up.
I mean, that was one of the worst. The first episode this season of The Walking Dead was awful. It's like they have this, you know, after all these years of being able to kick ass on all the zombies, right, and different groups, you know, like Michonne with their katana, whatever the hell that kind of sword is, she could just go out and just smoke like 50 zombies in a minute. But then now they have these little shields where, they part and somebody comes forward and then stabs one of them and they sit back for 5 minutes and hit another. Really? That seems so inefficient. Like you're literally not doing anything. Yeah. And just, I don't know, just didn't, whoever wrote that episode didn't do a very good job. Or directed it. Let's put it that way. They try to get too creative and cute. Oh yeah? So, wow. What are you trying to tell me, Patricia? Oh, I don't care when the show kills somebody off. That doesn't make me go, oh, I'm not watching anymore. That show already, the people, your favorite characters. And how about the end of last season? My God. I mean, all these people, heads up on a spike, that were popular characters, the young people. Isn't it like a holiday for everybody? Yeah, Zombieland was I think it was like 3 episodes, well, not 3, about 5 or 6 episodes ago. I'm watching getting caught back up again, watched the whole series again. I'm almost caught up back to where we're at. But they did a Zombieland sort of homage at a fair, they had Ferris wheels and all that kind of stuff. I don't know what that means. Did I see Joker? Is that a new movie? No, I didn't see that one. Thanks, Rock L. All right, well, this is the one we were talking about earlier.
Red Heart, Red Heart.
Thanks, Rock L.
How did you do it?
Well, my wife told me to.
She told you to kill him?
She told me because we were doing her mother wrong. She helped me did it. Have a seat.
His wife took out protection orders against him, but it did not stop him from allegedly kidnapping her and then killing her stepfather. Thanks for joining us for Wave 3 News at 11. I'm Shannon Kogan in for Taylor Durden. Terry Whitehouse had just been released from jail without bail the day before the statewide manhunt began. He had been arrested for violating the EPO, and it was not the first time. Wave 3 News reporter Caitlin Russ takes a closer look at what needs to be done for a protective order to work.
How about just enforce
Cases
it?
of domestic violence are all different, so there's no real telling what led up to this.
Come on, stand up.
But by looking at the history of police reports and charges stretching back to 2010, there are some clues.
There are situations where it is kind of a head scratcher as
Yeah.
to
So what they're saying, basically what this comes down to is, I mean, really, to be honest with you, the psycho domestic violent people like this who they break the orders of, like, let's say you have a protective order or a what's the other one called, where you a restraining order, right? They're just something that's a piece of paper to these guys, because they'll just go ahead and break it. And those are the dangerous ones. The ones that actually don't care that there's a legal document, they're the dangerous ones, because they don't care. And so how do you stop one of those guys from doing something?
why an individual might have been released.
In 2016, Terry Whitehouse had violated an emergency protective order his wife Melinda took out against him, and he did it again a week ago.
That shows that that person is much more dangerous.
So if there was a history of Whitehouse ignoring the EPO before, why was he released without bail the day before the manhunt?
We do have a statute in Kentucky that specifically directs judges. They're supposed to craft conditions of release that will protect the victim.
The state is looking heavily at criminal justice reforms, specifically issues with pretrial releases.
I'm not sure we do the best job that we can of trying to keep those people who pose a risk to somebody else or the public at large in custody pre-trial, and yet not make just simply money be a barrier for someone being released from jail.
The Kentucky Coalition Against Domestic...
How about life's being a barrier? You know, somebody is threatening other people's lives. How about you keep them in jail until a trial? Right? Because think how freaking scary it is for the people that have to live knowing the guy that's threatening you is walking around out there. It's a nightmare. "50% of police are killed by psychopaths." Yeah, you can't cure a psychopath, right? But let's not be mad at psychopaths because they're born that way, everybody. Pretty soon they're going to be on that list, too. If they're born a psychopath, how can we discriminate against them? You know, don't you feel guilty for being upset with people like Bundy? Like, you should actually accept Bundy and go, gosh, Ted Bundy's great. We should all just cut him a break. I mean, he was born that way, you know? You should feel ashamed of yourselves for ever looking down upon a psychopath, all right? That's what a certain political party tries to get you to feel like on certain things. Listen, don't ever cut down a psychopath, all right? Because they were born that way, and if you ever have any negative thoughts, therefore you are being a bigot, all right? Let's see. Psycho. Yeah, there you go. Started a shirt. Psychos Lives Matter. I'm being facetious, everybody. Yes. Be politically correct. Yeah. Yeah, they already had that information, M-Fan. She already had that. She just didn't know, there's no report in the paper about what happened or anything. I'll just put that way you put there, just so maybe it'll give me a hint to, she's going to send an email though, I think. Let's see. Yeah, that's good. All right. Well, no, she didn't have the information, so that was good, M-Fan. But at least you got something there. I'm just saying that's what she was talking about. Yeah. How many never, how old they get. I don't know what that means. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, put a P on there. Yeah, that'll be... Well, they'll have to have a different one, like TH or something. Because the other P will be taken up, yeah. I don't know who Barbie Camworth is. Like the guy named Bobby Camworth. He's just out there just trying to be a goofy, you know, he's probably one of the regular YouTuber people, but he's just got a fake name and he's just out there stirring up shit, trying to get people riled up, wasting a lot of people's time. Everybody's focused on who is that person? Wow, who is that person? Who cares? All right, you get what I'm saying? Like, who gives a shit? Yeah, that's what I just said, but maybe that's you, though. How many people have that last name? And in the same first letter of the first name. I just don't really care, you know? Like, I've seen a couple of those videos, and they're just stupid. Yeah, I don't really watch that channel that much. Yeah. Oh, okay. It's a spoof, alright. You should have called yourself Bonnie, though. Yeah, that way it sort of rhymes, you know. He needed the money. Yeah. Billy Boy Blue. He needed the money. Oh!
He needed the money.
I don't watch it that much. I think if you're going to do YouTube videos, you should use your real face. You know, if you're going to go live, things like that, you know. It's just kind of weird if you put like an Avenger mask on or anything weird like that. Just put your face out there, okay? You know, I used to make videos without my face, but I just made videos. And use your real name. Like, use your real name and your real face. Everyone can come up with an excuse of why they can't use their real name. Okay, but if you're covering all kinds of other cases, just do it. Nah, I don't. You think you understand that, but that's not reality. Because if you're making videos on all kinds of other cases, there's no reason you can't do that. Nah, don't worry about it, Gen B. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it'd be cool if he started actually, you know, trying to investigate stuff instead of just commentary on everything. Yeah, I mean, it'd be great if I could go back in time and wear a balaclava to do my show and, you know, have a voice editor sound. Yeah, it'd be awesome. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind what his show, and I do watch it sometimes, but I don't know. You know, he was out, you know, but the funny thing is, I remember early on, I think he was called something else, and he'd always go kind of after my channel, but I didn't mind, you know. And it's just sort of interesting, like, oh, wow, hey. It's weird. But I don't mind him now. I was just kidding. I wouldn't. Balaclava. Could you imagine? On what cases, Rebecca? I mean, there's other true crime YouTubers. You know, like there's legitimate true crime YouTubers out there. You know, like John Lorden. You know, I guess, you know, Harlow. And you know, I wouldn't even call. What's the really big one? What's her name? She's not really. I don't even know what she does, but it's weird. She just has a huge following. Kendall Ray, you know, like she's pretty good and everything, but it seems like she just got in on it early and got a big crowd, because it just doesn't seem like she puts a lot of effort into figuring something out. It's just sort of repeating a story. But, you know, I guess it works. And actually, you know, that's a lot of people like that. You know, some people don't like my channel because we actually, on the show, it's Lordan now. Yeah. It's it's Lordan, not En. Who's Cabell Hallen? Who's that? I guess Crimes is going to start doing a political show. I don't recommend it, unless you're just looking to get subs. But if I was him, I would stay away from that. He's going to lose a lot of supporters because I know I've already heard his angle on things. It's not right, in my opinion. Okay. I don't know. I think Harlow's totally different than Hallen. It's weird how they went to. You know, you can bring up politics every once in a while on a show, you know, but if to have a whole show about it, and especially if you're going to do the one where like race and politics, and then be on one side of an issue, you know, it just sounds like he had a whole different, like you guys have heard what my opinion was on the Amber Geiger case. Like he had the exact opposite. And that's where it's like, oh, yikes, man. Reich is, I don't like him at all. Sorry. If you like to figure out how a defense attorney, how are you going to weasel out of a case? Yeah, go over there. That's fine. I mean, just covering the freaking Watts case over and over ad nauseum. Just literally, are you okay? Jesus. Yeah, if you're into the Watts case, sure. Like, people keep going back to it now because it's the only videos they make where they'll get 10, 20,000 views. That's it. I mean, he obviously knows what he's talking about since he's a defense attorney. But I think most people like to be on the prosecution side and then hear what a possible defense is, not coming from that angle right from the get-go. Hey, how can we get Chris Watts off? Hey, if I was his attorney, I would have, you know, I don't really want to hear that shit. Okay? You can tell me on the side, you know, if you're a guest of somebody else. But I think most people don't want to hear that shit. I don't know why you like that case. God, it's just, it's over. You know, it's like, it's not even, like the Jodi Arias case, even today, is 1,000 times more interesting than the Chris Watts case. That case is over. It's solved. He admitted it. See, at least Jodi still claims she didn't do it. But the thing is the Watts case, it's only, here's the deal. A lot of the people watching true crime right now started watching true crime only because of the Chris Watts case. And then they started following all these new YouTubers who said, wow, I can make a name for myself on the Chris Watts case. So they just covered it over and over and over and over again. So in your mind, it's the most incredible case that's ever existed. When in reality, it's just not. Now, I guess it's an opinion thing. Like a piece of artwork might be the greatest thing you've ever seen. And other people will go, wow, how can you possibly like that? All right. Oh, hell, I got a call. Hold on. I didn't even see this. I don't know how long this person's been on hold, but 447. You're on the air. How long have you been on hold there? I didn't even look over to that screen for a little bit.
But it was lovely hearing your voice.
Well, how long have you been on hold?
Oh, about 3 minutes, but don't worry. I've been waiting for about, probably about 4 weeks, to be fair. I've been trying to contact you for ages, so hello from England.
This is Sean Beecham. How did you finally figure it out, how to do it?
I can see it. You're a pain in the ass to contact. Oh, it's a couple of zeros, but it is actually quite complicated.
Okay. Well,
but all I'm saying is it's me anyway, and I'm sorry if I'm very, very loud. I have a very loud voice. So
it's not too bad.
I apologize. Am I really loud?
Nope. Sounds good. So go ahead. What do you
anyway,
got? What do you got?
Speaking to my hero, apart from John Lawson, obviously. Got to give him a couple of stars.
Who doesn't like Lorden? Come on. All right.
I love Lorden. I just want to say thanks while I was away.
Well, cool. Well, thank you for saying thank you.
Well, you guys came in really, really handy.
What was that?
You all came in really... Sorry. You all really helped me. Lots.
Oh, yeah? What happened? What's going on? You sound like you're sad.
A little bit.
Well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you upset.
No, I don't want to... Sorry. I'm going to hear this tomorrow, and I'm coming up to delete this tomorrow.
Nope, you're going to have to listen to it again. I'm going to turn it up. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put this on a loop and play it over and over.
No, don't do it.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I just want to say you were all brilliant.
Yeah, cool.
Loads of people, especially Woods Girl. There were several people that helped me out. I don't know why. I don't particularly know them. But, yeah, I don't know the reason. If there was bad behaviour in a relationship, I would like to know this just as a question, please.
Okay, hold on.
Really
Hold on. Billy Boy Blue just donated, so it's going to talk over you. So you have to hold on a second.
That's all right. I'm used to it.
He put another.
I've been listening to you for 3 minutes.
Yeah, he put another nursery rhyme. So let's listen. Here we
Old
go.
Mother Hubbard went to the cupboard to get her old dog a bone. But when she bent over, John Lorden took over.
Oh, God. Oh, come on, Billy Boy Blue.
Oh, that was the best.
That was hilarious. Oh, boy.
Sorry.
Oh, boy.
Anyway, I think you're fantastic. I've got lots of people trying to, listening to you, whether they subscribe or not. It's entirely up to them.
Yeah.
I thought you were all brilliant when I was away because I had no help at all. I was really disorientated at that time, and I don't know. I was a bit argumentative, and I got pushed. You can get pushed, can't you? But would you push someone enough to slit someone's ear literally in half so they have 17 stitches?
So he shoved your...
That's my question for today.
Well, I mean, everybody's going to say no, right? But anyways, is this like your boyfriend, or who was that person?
That was my partner for 3 years.
Oh, your partner. So what happened?
I couldn't get a flight home. I tried, but I couldn't do it, so I just stuck it out. And then it's my house anyway, so I own my own property. So, for me, I'm lucky on that front. I just think the worst part is that he's Polish, and so his mum believes everything. So he could basically run over somebody in the street, and she would tell him he's perfect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He could be a serial killer, and she'd still say, "I'll forgive you for whatever you've done."
Yeah.
So she doesn't believe a word about what I've said. So that's why your site has been really helpful.
Well, does he live with you? I mean, the thing is, I know that there's people in the chat that have similar situations, and some have actually, escaped the situation. So those are the ones that you should talk to.
For me, it's been difficult because I lost my mum and I lost my daughter, and so therefore it was quite difficult for me, and I found it quite. I don't like telling people stuff like that, but yeah, my mum died of cancer, and a year before then, my daughter died also. So I find it quite difficult to express those emotions. Probably that's why I was always into crime. I'm a little bit of a crime fanatic.
Does the guy live with you right now, or?
Well, he certainly hasn't got. What we're trying to do is basically get him to move out as soon as possible. That's what I'm trying to do. He works different shifts, so at the moment he's not here at all. But he sort of mocks me for going on to your channel. And I find bullies do that though. I think it's. Sorry, I'm doing a lot of and ahhing, probably a lot of stuttering.
No, it's not bad. So what? But you own the house, right?
Yeah, my. There's been a lot of bullying in my lifetime, and I don't know why. I honestly don't know why, because I always thought I stood up for myself quite well. But in actual fact, I probably failed on. There must be something wrong with me sometimes, I think, to attract that many idiots. Or maybe I just don't have boundaries.
No.
You know, I should have boundaries. I should recognise the signs, and I don't see it.
Yeah. Well,
I'm genuinely quite a forgiving person, and I think that's a nice way to be.
I would. Well, I know you might be forgiving, but I wouldn't. I think you shouldn't. You should just try to get out of this one. Don't forgive and go, oh yeah, because it won't get any better.
But if you push someone,
what do you mean by who pushed who? Like, did you push them, or
if a person pushes you?
Yeah.
This is my question to everybody that I've been speaking. I know I've got a really harsh voice, by the way. I've been smoking loads, so not anything bad. I just smoke. But my question is this: if someone pushes you, what he said was he didn't see the wall coming. He didn't know there was going to be a corner on that wall. So it wouldn't have happened, would it? And it actually got me quite sort of manipulated.
Yeah.
And I started to think, well, maybe if I hadn't been so close to the wall, maybe if I hadn't, I don't know.
I think you should just.
It wasn't.
Have you gone to the police or anything and say, hey, I live here. This is what's going on. I need him out of here. How do we do this?
Mm-hmm.
Have you done that?
Yeah.
Well,
I asked. I thought his mum was being helpful, but sadly, his mum is very much. She's all for the son. She said she'll forgive him for anything he does. So I could be buried in a backyard.
Yeah, but who cares who cares if his mom forgives anything? You just need to get him out.
I don't give a shit about his mum. Do you know who paid for this holiday? Me. And I came back with 17 stitches in my ear. And when they took the stitches out, I couldn't think of any. They said, think of something positive, because they didn't give me any anaesthetic. And you know what? I was looking at the wall, because I had a blank wall to look at. And I thought, damn, this is really bloody painful. So I'm looking and I'm thinking, I know, Grey Hughes investigates. I'm just going to think about my friends. And I know you're not my friends exactly. I don't know you. But...
Well, I'm glad you call in here.
I've learned to know you.
But you need to go get it resolved. So you're just peaceful. And even though you're alone, it's more peaceful. You'll find somebody else that's normal.
And I'm sorry, when I kept sending, I interrupted that call. Sorry.
You didn't interrupt anything. But look at everybody's here. Look at the chat. Everybody's supporting you. Now it's not normal. Just get the hell out of there. But you got to plan it and then you got to plan it and then execute it. Boom. You might even have to. I don't know what you could do. Is why don't you go somewhere else and then sell your property while you're somewhere else?
He's got nothing to do with my property. He's
right. But he's there,
so
and if he, I know,
him quite quickly.
But he's there, right?
We need Donald Trump over here, don't we?
Yeah, but how come you can't get him out of there? If you can't get him out of there, why don't you go somewhere and then just sell the place and then buy another one somewhere else? You see?
Do you know what? It could work. It's just that this is my little girl's home, and it's also where my mum used to spend most of her presents. This house is in my name. It's not in anybody else's name.
Right. But I know it sucks, but you should probably just make a better place for make a better place for your daughter, better place for your mom, or we used to be your mom's place. Is that what you said? Like she passed away.
No, it's my house. It's totally in my name. I own it outright. Right. I just didn't kick him out.
Well,
I didn't do it because I thought it was my fault. That's what I was trying to say. I know it sounds silly. I actually
it's not your fault.
It was my fault.
Well, you know it's not your fault, right? So that's where you just got to go, right?
Yeah. Anyway, I think you're absolutely fantastic, and I do watch it every single day.
I see you in there. I appreciate it.
Pardon?
I always see you in the chat.
I know I'm there. That's why I just didn't have the courage. I didn't have the guts. I thought it was my fault. I thought if I hadn't have been so argumentative, as you can hear from my voice, I'm quite a loud person anyway. God help me, I sound anxious anyway. I know. Yes, I am a mod, Jen B. Thank you.
That's right. You sound fine. Fine.
I am, and yes, to the other lady that asked me, am I a woman or not? Yeah, it's Sean.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh wow! I
love this site. So anyway, you've all been brilliant, and love you loads. Take care. Best site.
Well, thanks for calling in. I hope you get out of it. All right, thanks a lot. Have a good one.
I will. Bye.
All right, bye. Sean Beecher. I don't remember which one was on. Hold on a second. Hey, is this 608? How long have you been on hold? Just now or not?
Hey, I've been on a while. I was listening to that other lady's story. I hope she gets away from that guy. That doesn't sound very safe.
Yeah, it doesn't sound good at all. What's your name?
No, I'm Lee. I called you maybe a couple days ago, but I'm glad that you had a show like this today because now you have a call in with different crime stories.
Right. Yeah.
Because I have a weird story for you. I was in Wisconsin, and I got engaged to a girl, and then I found out that she was getting threatening, calls and texts, and some of that spilled over to my phone, and I found out that she had got human trafficked and raped when she was 3, and a detective ended up coming by, a detective named Clay Lynn, and he was yelling at me saying, why are you sticking up for that girl? She's a piece of shit. She was on crack since she was 12, and that caused the issue because a 12-year-old doesn't have legal tender. A 12-year-old couldn't pay for a drug habit with their allowance, So I thought he knew who got her hooked on the drugs, which he did, because I ended up having one of the people that was harassing her threaten me and come to my house. And he told me that he had raped somebody and he was still friends with her, and his wife was still friends with her, and he was talking about the girl that was close to me. But the reason why I ended up leaving was because her father ended up getting killed, and somebody related to somebody in law enforcement called my phone, a guy named Cal French. And he was real distraught, and he was like, Ashley's phone got taken, and my girlfriend's phone got taken. Can you go over to a certain house? And he asked me to go to a certain person's house because he said that they kidnapped his girlfriend, Sammy Joe. And I thought that he was lying. But he called me from a business line, right? And I saved that call. And I later called that business line, and it was his stepdad's business, Enterprise Lighting. And Steven Kokish was the guy who answered that phone, and he told me that, yes, Sammy Joe had got kidnapped, and out in Bay Area, Wisconsin, they had filed a missing person for her. And the boy wasn't lying. The Kyle guy. So imagine, like, I kind of get set up with it because, like, the detective doesn't do what he said he was going to do. And the girl's lug nuts had got loosened on her tires, even at one point in time, and nobody really did anything for her. Then her father was dead, and this Kyle guy calls up telling me about her father dying. So I figured I'm just going to be, I'm done out here, I'm leaving. And my sister was out there too, she moved too, so we moved. Why is it after a couple of months, I end up having a car dropped off on my lawn from a girl named Jarmonique Danielowski. It was a little SUV. And you know how, like, on a car, there's, like, the little teeth that hold the tire on?
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, I guess so. I'm actually having a hard time sort of following along your story. I mean, I'm normally not that bad, but everything just seems, I can't connect any of the parts that you're talking about. Like, everything that you're saying, it's not really making sense to me. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. I'll just listen to what you're saying.
Yeah,
do you want me to?
Well, the whole thing, it wasn't very cohesive. Like, you were talking about a girl that was your girl. You were dating somebody, and then when she was 3, something happened to her, and then you kind of went through all this stuff, and I just absolutely got lost.
Yeah.
And I was really paying attention the whole time. I just didn't know what you were saying about, and then you let it up.
There was a girl that I've worked with, and her name was Ashley, and me and Ashley started doing security together. She's living with me. After a certain point in time, she starts getting threatening phone calls and texts.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people are contacting her online, on her Facebook, and on her phone.
Right.
And it spilled over to the same people calling my phone, making threats to me. So I'm getting these weird phone calls from people that I don't know.
Right.
And they're calling me saying weird things. At a certain point in time, one of the local sheriffs, that's a detective, starts coming to our home telling me that she was the problem. But what he was saying didn't make sense. There was a detective named Clay Lenz.
Mm-hmm.
He was saying that she was a piece of crap because she was on drugs when she was 12.
Right. I remember all this part, but then after that's where I got
that
yeah, go
a
ahead.
threat came from one of the people who was messing with her, some guy named Raymond Hartman. Right? If you look in Wisconsin, they have a thing called CCAP, Wisconsin Court Access, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I looked on the Wisconsin Court Access, I typed in Raymond Hartman with 2 N's, like Hartman, M-A-N, but with 2 N's.
Mm-hmm.
A court case came up from when she was younger, where this guy basically raped her when she was 3. And I was also told this by the detective. This was one of the other things that they mentioned, that she got raped when she was 3. That's a closed case. Like, that's a sealed case. Like, if you pull up the case where he did that, it was like around like 97 and 98. her name is not on it, but it says that he had a charge where you get like, well, you know how like they have the severity of the crimes, like they call it a Class X felony, I think, in Illinois, where I'm at now. But in Wisconsin, I think they call it an A or B, like where you're supposed to do like 20 years or 40 years for hurting a child.
Mm-hmm.
He had that charge. Somehow he turned it into a drug charge. I don't know how he did it. Like he must have said like the mom was on drugs or some stuff, but he got off on it by getting the mom in trouble some kind of way. Meaning Ashley's mom, the girl who was close to me. Okay, so with all of that weird stuff going on and the fact that nobody was getting arrested, me and my family didn't feel safe, and we were kind of getting into it because the people were coming to my house and stuff. So I moved from Wisconsin to Illinois. But before I moved, a guy named Kyle French, who is related to some of the people in the sheriff's department, called my phone when Ashley's dad got killed. And he called up saying that his girlfriend, Sammy Jo, got kidnapped. And he was asking me if I would go to an address to get his girlfriend away from the Popple family. Now, I know you might not know who they are, but I don't know if that's illustrating anything, but...
So what do you I don't know. Where are you leading with all this? I guess.
All right, what I was going to say was this. This is basically like the weird thing. Like, so imagine I pack up and move, and I moved to Illinois, right? So I moved to Rockford, Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
And by December of 2018, a car gets dropped off on my lawn.
Okay, hold on a second, because somebody, Billy Boy Blue donated, so it's going to make a joke.
Jill went up the hill each with $1.25. Jill came down with $2.50. Oh.
Ooh, thanks, Billy Boy Blue. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so like I was saying, the SUV got dropped off around December, like a little bit before Christmas. And it belonged to a girl named Jarmonique Danielowski. And it had damage to the lug nuts where the teeth broke off, so there was no way that the tire could hold on to the car wheel.
Mm-hmm.
The wheel shot off, she said, on I-90. And, you know, I took pictures of the damage to the vehicle because it was just sitting there on my lawn, so I'm like, okay. And I live on, like, a weird street where there's a corner where, like, I have a real huge lawn. So it didn't make sense for it to be that close to my house. So like I said, I took photographs and stuff. So I know you got an email. I could possibly give you the pictures for you to see the damage to the lug nuts. It's kind of bizarre. But I ended up looking up who the girl was and speaking with her. And when I spoke with her, it was crazy. She was saying that the car had the tire pop off on the expressway, and I'm like, well, if the tire popped off on the expressway, how the hell did you get it from the I-90 up to my house? Like, how'd you get it in front of my house?
Yeah.
This girl was lying about part of what the hell was going on, but when I looked into who Jarmonique was, I saw that she was adopted, and I saw something crazy. I saw that she had a sister that died in 2017. Her sister died at age 24, the year before, right? So the weird thing is, I'm looking at it like, wait a minute, was somebody trying to kill this chick? Because the same thing happened to the girl that I was engaged with out in Wisconsin. Jarmonique tells me that she was coming from Devil's Lake out in Baraboo, Wisconsin. That's like she said that she was at the campgrounds at Devil Lake when the tire came off on the expressway trying to come back to Rockford. So I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, you were out where I was living at with my fiance where all of that crazy just came, and then you dropped the car off here? Why is it that I find out that the Kyle French guy is related to a Winnebago sheriff named John French? Like, Kyle has a relative in the sheriff's department. Where I'm living at, that's their jurisdiction. They didn't take pictures of the damn car's damage. I took pictures of the car's damage.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing is, I mean, I know that you seem really enthusiastic about the story, but I think what you got to do is you got to write it down where when you tell it, everything makes sense because you're adding, you know, like everybody in the chat is confused. I'm listening. I know part of it that made sense at the beginning, but then after that, it just kind of loses everybody. So you got to, and nobody else call in because I'm actually gonna end the show here in a minute. I gotta get something to eat. I went golfing today and then I ate something. Now I sucked too. When I was golfing, I missed six putts inside of 4 feet. It was ridiculous. Okay, I felt like an idiot.
Oh, sorry about that.
But anyways, yeah, what I would do is I would write it all down where it sort of made sense and then tell it. Because it gets so all it's. I mean, I can tell that it's really, you know, it bugs you something had happened, but it's hard to follow.
Hey, would you mind if I gave you the pictures of the car so you could see what happened to the vehicle with the correct spelling of the girl's name?
Yeah, you could send that over. I could take a look at it. But,
all right. Yeah, that way I'd have enough time to write it out properly and stuff too.
Yeah.
But thanks for listening to me, and please be safe out there because I think you're doing a good job and stuff with your show and stuff and everything. And,
well, thank you.
You know, everybody in the chat be safe too, and I hope that lady gets a restraining order on that man and gets him away from her.
I agree with that.
She needs a better support system.
That's right.
All right.
And you be safe out there too. All right.
All right.
All right. Have a good one, man. Thanks for calling. All right, bye. All right. So, that's going to end the show for tonight. But first, I was going to almost be done a while ago, and then more people called in. However, thank you to Kit Kat, Fishing in the Dark, Mitch, Jay Case, Rebecca Hudson, Billy Boy Blue, Cairo, Rock L, Billy Boy Blue, 3 times in a row. He needed the money. Oh, except Streamlabs says he needed the money. Oh, okay. And then old Mother Hubbard went to the cupboard to get old dog a bone. I won't read that one because it's my buddy on 3 Minute in a Mystery. Jack and Jill went up the hill each with $1.25. Jill came down with $2.50. Oh. Okay, that's how Streamlabs reads it. Streamlabs, work on that shit. Hey, thanks, J. Richard, the Mechanic Canic. All right, where are we doing the flyby, everybody? Where are we doing the flyby?
Good show.
Yeah, because I gotta go. I've been on 2.5 hours. All right, so where are we? Where are we going? I'm just gonna go back to. Let's see. Back to Bryce Canyon. You can't lose over there. Actually, what if I flew up in the air, looked at a mountainous region, like right there. No, that's. Oh yeah, let's go here. I don't know what this is, but it looks kind of cool. I like it. I like it. I like it. Yeah, where is this anyways? I think this is like in I guess around Switzerland somewhere. Look at that. Look at this crazy shit. It's just some, like an ice flow or something. It's definitely not a road. Looks like one.
Good night, freaks!
Thank you, Far North. That was weird. I was like, I think this looks like the Matterhorn, and I type it in, and it's one mountain over. What are the odds of that? Well, that's some crazy stuff right there, isn't it? That land. Unbelievable. Amazing. Amazing. All right. Thank you all for showing up tonight and contributing to the channel. Everybody who called in, thank you very much. Got a couple, a serial killer to look into and a cold case. So that was very cool. And again, thanks everybody for calling in. And Blue is, well, he's not even in his bed right now, so what difference does it make? He's not there. So anyways, that's it for the show. And as I always say, everybody, you can say it. You know what it is. What is it? Be safe out there. See you tomorrow. Okay, bye.